Welcome to the Chandni Chowk street food tour in downtown Old Delhi. If you want to chomp down on large quantities of calorically dense delicacies, then you've come to the right place. What's up everybody? Before I start this video proper, I just want to let you know about a Buck Wild Delhi subscriber meetup I got planned out. The meeting's on August 8th and it's taking place at Connaught Place. So if you want more details about this meetup, check down below in the comments section. Hope to see you there, and now it's time for your regularly scheduled program. Welcome to the Indian food tour, everybody. So I was cruising around the Red Fort ramparts of downtown Old Delhi. And that castle was looking pretty nice, real nice in fact, but truth be told, I needed myself something to eat. But what kind of food did I decide to eat? I decided to get myself some food of the street side variety. And truth be told, I ended up having a whole wide array of Indian street food, but if you want to know the sweetest street treat of all, then stick around till the end of the video. I think you're gonna like it a lot. Anyway, the first stop on this Buck Wild Indian street food tour is at a famous establishment called Kake Di Hati. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but I'm sure some of the pronunciation Nazis will let me know in the comments section of this video. Anyway, as you can see, I was scoping out the bread maestros in this place, and I was getting damn near hypnotized by the dudes. Check out this maestro, for example. He's making a stuffed naan so big you might just be able to feed a small village with it. It's getting kind of intense in this bread maestro zone, almost too intense. So I figured I'd let those maestros be, and I sat myself down and ordered up a little chow. And man, oh man, just looking at that wide array of calorically dense empty calories filled my heart with a boundless sense of optimism. Crazy as it may sound, I felt an immense sense of positivity about my future face-feeding potential. Seemed to me that this food, simple as it may be, had a chance to change the entire trajectory of my life. So I took my first step in this journey of self-actualization, and I grabbed this piece of capsicum cheese stuffed naan. Now, I took a look at that stuffing situation, and I was expecting more stuffing inside, but I can't complain. That naan was still looking pretty achahe in my book, so I figured I'd take a bite and see how it tastes on its own. And wow, just wow, that crispy refined wheat flour flavor coupled with that butter, cheese, and capsicum really hit the spot. That was a pretty decent piece of bread right there. Not the best I've ever had in my life, but definitely existence enhancing nonetheless. Next up, I started savagely digging into this Palak Panner over here. That's a massive chunk of unaged Indian cheese swimming in a spinach gravy. And whoa, I just spooned that Palak Panner directly onto the stuffed naan. And right about now I'm kinda wondering, did I just violate some sacred rule of Indian food etiquette? I probably did. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've got a whole lot of Indian food etiquette Nazis patrolling around the comments section of my videos. Those damn food Nazis adhere to some strictly regimented style of eating. Well, if there are multiple paths to enlightenment in Hinduism, then why aren't there multiple paths to feeding your face at the dinner table? Can you answer that one, you armchair food aficionados? Oh, that's right, I'm calling out these food Nazis. These damn rascals are running roughshod across the comments section. I mean, not only are these food Nazis literally Hitler, but I get the strange feeling that they have some racist tendencies. Either that, or they're just a tad heterophobic. Anyway, I moved on to this Aloo Matar and jammed it into some stuffed naan. I took myself a casual yet calculated bite, and that peas potato curry was tasting okay. It had a lightly spiced creamy tomato flavor, but overall it wasn't my favorite curry of all time. So I think I'd rate that particular flavor combo a 3 out of 5 Maharaja Dawgs. Reason being because it tasted pretty decent, but it was a tad too watery and it wasn't quite flavorful enough. So I started spending more time with this Palak Panner because I did enjoy the flavor much more. That Palak gravy was nicely spiced and it had a nice spinach pulp flavor and butteriness to it. Next I slapped on some onion action for a little extra bite, and then I started to fold that bread up. So I took a closer look at that bite and whoa baby, this part of the stuffed naan has way more stuffing. That's what I'm talking about, so I took me a confident, self-assured bite and whoa baby. Damn boyo, that was a nice bite right there. That crispy buttery bread with pannier on the inside was sandwiching some spinachy pannier within itself. This paragon of Palak goodness was so delish it would melt the heart of even the staunchest food Nazi. So I must say, with all those flavors taken into account, that particular bite was most definitely worthy of a 5 out of 5 Maharaja Dawgs. And I gotta say, that Kake Dihati food establishment wasn't half bad. But truth be told, I was still feeling a tad hungry, so I decided to get myself some JB Kachori Wala action. Mind you, I'm not exactly sure what a kachori is. I think it's some kind of deep fried spiced bread, but how the hell am I supposed to know? I guess if you want an answer to that question, you better visit your resident food Nazi. Just imagine those food Nazis sitting behind their keyboards or mobile phones. They seem to have an answer for everything, but they can't make a video or other content about anything. On top of that, those lovable rapscallions seem to be overly obsessed with the food prices I'm paying. I guess they'll be happy about the fact that I paid 20 rupees for this particular snack. But heaven forbid I pay a little more and those rascals will lock onto me like Whitey-seeking missiles. I guess those food price Nazis don't realize that as a YouTuber you have to spend money to make money. I think those food Nazis are actually good people at heart, they're just a tad misguided, that's all. Either that or they're trying to help me out in whatever way they can. I guess what I'm trying to say over here is in some unexplainable way, I kinda like those food Nazis. But anyway, I'm getting a tad off topic over here, back to the kachori action. I kinda expected that thing to be crunchy, but it was halfway between crunchy and soft, and on top of that, there was a slight spicy aftertaste. There was also a somewhat tomatoey sauce in there and some turmeric-y potatoes. It was a decent enough snack, but overall it wasn't really to my taste, so I think I'm gonna have to give it a 3 out of 5 Maharaja Dawgs. Reason being because I'm not really a huge fan of things being watery out of control unless of course they're soup. But hey, to each their own, sweet cheeks. Anyway, after polishing that off, I figured I definitely deserved a sweet motherfucking treat, so I decided to go to old famous Jalebi Wala. After all, it seemed to me that this would be a pretty decent place to spike that blood sugar. So I saw a maestro shooting off some jalebi dough directly into some hot boiling oil, and I was getting pretty excited to say the least. You might even say I was feeling borderline aroused. I guess I was getting pretty excited because I've never had a jalebi before, and I was anticipating the exact nanosecond that I'd sink my teeth into one. So I got myself a nice, fresh, and hot jalebi and was getting physically, mentally, and emotionally prepared to bite down on the mofo. Then when I grabbed a piece of that jalebi, it was feeling warm and sticky to the touch. Then I took myself a nice healthy chomp, and as soon as I did, I felt like my mind had been elevated to a higher plane of consciousness. It's almost as though this heart disease and diabetes-inducing snack improved my life in some immeasurable way. Crunchy though they may be, the inside is kinda porous and it retains some oil, so with each passing bite there's an oil explosion just blasting off all up in your mouth. That plus this puppy is coated in some sugar syrup, so it's most definitely a blood sugar spiker, that much is for sure. So although I enjoyed that jalebi quite a bit, I think I'm gonna have to rate it a 4 out of 5 Maharaja Dawgs. After all, I do like sweet motherfucking treats, but this one was just a tad too sweet for my liking. Anyway, that about does it for this Indian street food tour, but if you want to see more, then feel free to check out my previous episodes. I've got a video about some street side chicken tikka, and I've got a video about an Indian street side breakfast, just to name a few. I've got those links down in the description box. So don't forget to subscribe for all your dreams to come true, and thanks for watching this video. Why don't you leave a comment, let me know what you think.